It's almost the end of 2024, and maybe this year hasn't gone the way you hoped. She walked away, and now you're left wondering how to turn things around. But here's the truth. Chasing her isn't the answer. The key to making her come running back in 2025 isn't about persuading her. It's about transforming yourself into someone she can't help but notice. In today's video, I'm breaking down 10 powerful steps to not only shift her perspective, but elevate your life to the next level. Let's dive in. Number 1. The root of her departure. The first thing you need to do is understand why she walked away. It's tempting to focus on blame, whether that's directed at her or yourself. But neither of those paths will lead to real progress. This isn't about assigning fault, it's about understanding. Clarity begins when you ask the right questions. Was there a loss of attraction over time? Did you unknowingly stop meeting her emotional needs? Or perhaps there was a slow breakdown in communication that left too much unspoken. These questions aren't meant to haunt you, but to guide you. Reflection is a powerful tool, especially when approached with honesty and calm. When you step back and view the relationship through this lens, you create space for insight rather than regret. The Stoics believed that obstacles aren't there to break you, but to teach you. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that for a moment. Even the pain of her departure, this setback, can become a guide toward growth if you let it. The end of this relationship doesn't have to be just an ending. It can be the beginning of a better, more self-aware you. Let's say you were in a relationship where she often expressed frustration about feeling unheard. Maybe she shared her feelings about work stress, her goals, or even her concerns about the relationship, and you responded with practicality rather than empathy. Over time, this made her feel emotionally disconnected. When she eventually walked away, you may have thought her actions came out of nowhere. But looking back, you realize there were signs all along. This kind of realization isn't about wallowing in guilt. It's about waking up. It's about understanding what went wrong so that you can grow, not just for future relationships, but for yourself. When you take the time to reflect on what happened, truly reflect, you step into a position of strength. You start to recognize your patterns and how they might have contributed to the outcome. For instance, did you unknowingly prioritize work or other commitments over quality time? Were there moments when she communicated her needs, but you misunderstood or dismissed them? Did unresolved tension build up because neither of you addressed it directly? Understanding the root of her departure isn't about winning her back or making amends. It's about becoming better. Better for yourself, better for future connections, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. By choosing self-awareness, you're not just reacting to what happened, you're transforming it. The pain of losing her can become the spark that ignites a new chapter of growth, wisdom, and emotional maturity. The clarity you gain now is the foundation for the man you're becoming. When you embrace this mindset, you'll realize that even in heartbreak, there is power. A man who reflects and grows is a man who will ultimately thrive, no matter the circumstances. So, what resonates most with you from this perspective? Have you experienced a moment where reflection revealed a truth you hadn't seen before? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you've navigated similar challenges or what lessons you've learned along the way. Or, if you're not sure what to say, simply type this affirmation in the comments. I choose growth over regret. Your words might inspire someone else on their path of self-discovery. Let's continue this journey together, one step at a time. Number 2, control the storm within. Let's be honest. When someone walks out of your life, it can feel like a tidal wave of emotions crashing down on you. Maybe you've experienced the sting of anger, the heavy weight of sadness, or the almost unbearable urge to text her endlessly, hoping that somehow your words will bring her back. It's natural to feel this way. After all, you care. And when someone we care about leaves, it shakes us to our core. But here's the hard truth. Those emotional, impulsive reactions, they don't bring her closer. If anything, they push her further away. Think about it. What message do constant texts or emotional outbursts send? Desperation. And desperation is the opposite of what draws someone back. What truly captivates is composure, the kind of calm confidence that says, I'm grounded. I'm in control of my life. This is where the real work begins. Not in trying to change her mind, but in controlling the storm within. So how do you start? First, pause. Take a step back from the chaos in your mind. Start with something simple. Grab a journal or even a blank piece of paper and write down everything you're feeling. Don't hold back. Write about the anger, the confusion, the pain. Let your emotions flow freely, unfiltered and raw. This process helps you get those overwhelming feelings out of your head and onto the page, where they lose some of their power over you. Then, take a moment to breathe. Literally. Sit in a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Breathe in deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this for just a few minutes. You'd be surprised how quickly this practice can calm the storm raging inside you. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control external events, we have complete power over how we respond. Apply this wisdom to your situation. You can't control her decision to leave. You can't control whether she responds to your texts or whether she comes back. What you can control is how you show up, calm, composed, and focused on your own growth. Imagine this. She expects you to react the way most people do, to send long, emotional messages, to beg for an explanation, to appear lost without her. But instead, she sees or hears about a different version of you, a version that's steady, grounded, and moving forward. And here's what happens when you stay grounded. It creates curiosity. She might start to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? What's changed about him? That curiosity, paired with your calm energy, can spark a shift in how she views you. But the real benefit isn't in how she reacts. It's in how you transform. You're no longer a man controlled by emotions, but a man who controls them. The goal isn't to win her back. The goal is to win yourself back, to find strength in the silence, to find clarity in the chaos, and to remember that you're not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond. So, when you feel the storm rising within, stop and ask yourself, what's within my power right now? Journaling, meditating, going for a run. These small actions are your tools to weather the storm. They help you move from reaction to response, from chaos to clarity. Every moment you choose calm over chaos, you're rebuilding yourself. And that version of you, the steady, grounded, self-assured version, is magnetic. It's the kind of strength that not only makes others take notice, but also makes you proud of who you're becoming. What's the first step you'll take today to calm the storm within? Let me know in the comments. I'm here to guide you on this journey. Number 3. Let her feel your absence. When she walked away, she might have expected a whirlwind of reactions from you. Desperate texts, emotional pleas, or attempts to patch things up immediately. Maybe she thought you'd beg for another chance, try to prove your worth, or let her know how much she means to you. But what happens when you don't meet those expectations? When you step back instead of chasing, you create a space she didn't anticipate. A space where she can feel your absence. Consider this. A woman ends a conversation abruptly, leaving you hanging. Instead of flooding her phone with, "What's wrong?" or "Can we talk?" you decide to do nothing. Days pass. No texts, no calls, no attempts to reconnect. At first, she might feel relieved, even justified in her decision. But as time stretches on, something changes. She starts to wonder why you're so quiet, why you didn't react as she thought you would. Slowly, the absence you created begins to work in your favor. Here's the thing. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate her emotions. It's about respecting yourself enough to give her the time and space to reflect on her decision. Silence sends a clear message. My worth isn't tied to how much attention I can give you when you walk away. This isn't an act of revenge or spite. It's a statement of self-respect. Silence creates a void. And in that void, she begins to notice what's missing. Your presence, your care, your energy. It's no longer readily available. She can't miss you if you're always there, reminding her of what she's chosen to leave behind. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say, but only if that absence is felt deeply. Have you ever misplaced a favorite item? Something you didn't realize you loved so much until it wasn't there anymore? That's the same principle at work here. When you step back, you're giving her the opportunity to see your value through the lens of loss. In a world where instant communication is the norm, silence is a rare and powerful statement. It shows strength, confidence, and a refusal to beg for someone's attention. Silence shifts the dynamic. It allows you to regain control of your narrative and forces her to confront the reality of your absence. Taking a step back isn't about punishing her. It's about valuing yourself. It's about saying, "I'm enough, with or without you." It's a reflection of your inner strength, your ability to remain calm and composed, and your understanding that chasing someone who has walked away only diminishes your power. In the end, letting her feel your absence is about showing her and yourself that your world doesn't crumble when she leaves. It's about honoring your own worth and giving her the space to realize what she's missing. So, take that step back, not to play games, but because you know that silence speaks louder than words. And in that silence, she might just hear everything she needs to know. What are your thoughts on this idea? Have you ever found strength in silence or noticed its impact on someone else? Share your experience in the comments below. If you're unsure what to write, simply type, "My silence speaks my worth," as an affirmation of your strength and self-respect. Let's open up a meaningful discussion together. Now, let's move to the next point and dive even deeper. Number 4. Focus on your core strengths. When you step back and give her space, the question isn't just about what she'll do, it's about what you will do with that time and energy. This is your opportunity to shift your focus inward, to take stock of your life and strengthen the foundation of who you are. Ask yourself, what are your core strengths? What areas of your life could benefit from growth or improvement? Maybe you've been putting off hitting the gym, learning a new skill, or taking that leap in your career. Now is the time to embrace those challenges, not as a way to distract yourself, but as a way to truly rebuild your inner fortress. Instead of scrolling through her social media or replaying old conversations in your mind, you channel that energy into something productive. You sign up for a fitness class, commit to learning a new language, or finally work on that business idea you've been sitting on. Every moment you invest in yourself makes you stronger, more capable, and more confident. For example, if you've always wanted to get into better shape, start today. Hit the gym, take long runs, or focus on your nutrition. Not only will this improve your physical health, but it'll also give you a sense of accomplishment and discipline. Or, if your career has been stagnant, consider taking a course, networking, or pushing for that promotion. These steps remind you of your value and show her and the world that you're someone who never stops growing. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This is a principle you can live by. When you focus on your core strengths and strive to improve, you're not just preparing for her potential return. You're ensuring that your life flourishes regardless of what happens. Growth isn't about impressing her. It's about showing up for yourself. The stronger and more capable you become, the more opportunities you'll attract. Not just in relationships, but in every area of life. Here's the truth. People notice change. When she sees your progress, it won't just make her curious. It'll make her reflect on her own choices. Why? Because growth is magnetic. Your new confidence, your achievements, and your unbothered energy send a powerful message. You don't need her to thrive. You're thriving because that's who you are. By focusing on your strengths and committing to self-improvement, you're reclaiming your energy and building a life that's fulfilling on its own. Whether or not she decides to return, you'll be prepared. Not just for her, but for any opportunity that comes your way. In the end, growth is the ultimate response to rejection. It shows resilience, discipline, and self-respect. So take this time to focus on you, not as a strategy to win her over, but as a way to honor your potential. The man who emerges from this process will be stronger, sharper, and ready for whatever comes next. And when she sees that, it won't just make her curious. It'll make her question why she ever walked away in the first place. Number 5. Be magnetic without words. Let's dive into something powerful and often misunderstood: the art of silent confidence. It's one of the most magnetic traits you can develop as a man, and yet so many get it wrong. True confidence doesn't demand attention. It commands it effortlessly. Think about those rare individuals who walk into a room and instantly shift the energy. They don't boast, they don't seek approval, and yet they leave an impression. That's what it means to be magnetic without words. Confidence is universally attractive, but here's the secret. Real confidence doesn't need to be shouted from the rooftops. It's not about telling her you've changed or bragging about your recent accomplishments. Real confidence is quiet. It's steady. It's rooted in the knowledge of who you are and the value you bring, whether anyone acknowledges it or not. Picture this. You're at a mutual friend's party, and she's there too. You could go out of your way to look like you're doing great, laughing louder than usual, making obvious gestures, or trying to engage her directly. But that kind of behavior screams insecurity. Instead, you focus on enjoying the moment. You're genuinely present, connecting with others, laughing naturally, and moving through the room with a calm, collected demeanor. You're not looking to impress anyone. You're simply living in alignment with who you've become. That kind of quiet, self-assured energy, it's magnetic, and it's undeniable. As a stoic man, you understand that your worth isn't something that needs external validation. It doesn't come from her approval, her attention, or anyone else's praise. You're confident because you've done the inner work to know your own value. You've built a foundation that isn't easily shaken, one that rests on your character, principles, and resilience. Suppose you've been working on yourself, both mentally and physically. You've started journaling to clarify your goals, meditating to find peace, and exercising consistently to feel stronger. When someone asks about it, you don't make a big deal of it. You might say something simple like, "Yeah, I've been focusing on my health," and move on. Then, one day, she stumbles upon a photo of you through mutual friends, or runs into you unexpectedly. She notices the physical changes, sure, but more importantly, she senses the shift in your energy. You seem more composed, more present, and more confident without even trying. That's the power of being magnetic without words. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is your call to action. Stop explaining, stop proving, and start living. Focus on the things you can control, your mindset, your habits, your goals, and let the results speak for themselves. When your confidence comes from within, it becomes irresistible. Women, and people in general, are drawn to a man who doesn't chase validation, but instead radiates a quiet, unshakable strength. So instead of saying, "Look at me now," let your growth and progress do the talking. Trust me, those who need to notice will notice. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this concept. How do you interpret the idea of being magnetic without words? Share your perspective in the comments, or simply type, "I am magnetic without words," to affirm your commitment to quiet, inner confidence. Let's keep this conversation going as we explore how this powerful mindset can reshape not only your relationships, but your entire life. Number 6, show, don't tell. When the time comes to reconnect, the natural instinct might be to explain yourself. Maybe even over-apologize in hopes of earning her forgiveness or understanding. You might feel like you need to convince her that you've changed, that you've grown. But here's the thing. Words often fall flat when they're not backed by action. Words can feel hollow, especially when someone is looking for proof, not promises. Instead of explaining, focus on demonstrating. Let your actions, your energy, and the way you carry yourself show her that you've leveled up. Growth isn't something you announce, it's something you embody. A stoic man doesn't seek approval or validation from others. He focuses inward, confident that those who matter will notice the transformation without him having to spell it out. Let's take a practical example. Perhaps you've become more disciplined. You don't get flustered by small things anymore. When she tests the waters with a sharp comment or challenges you, you smile, shrug it off, and respond calmly, showing her that you're no longer reactive or emotionally volatile. Or maybe you've developed a passion, say photography, martial arts, or even learning a new language. When she asks what you've been up to, your enthusiasm shines through without any effort to impress. Picture this scenario. You walk into a room and she's there. You don't rush to explain yourself or to make grand gestures. You carry yourself with quiet confidence, not seeking her attention, but also not avoiding it. She notices the little things, how you're more at ease with yourself, how you've clearly been prioritizing your own growth and peace. These subtle changes speak far louder than any declaration ever could. When she observes this transformation, it resonates on a deeper level because it feels genuine. It's not a performance or an attempt to win her over. It's simply who you've become. And that, more than anything, is what will leave an impression. A stoic man doesn't try to prove his worth through explanations or apologies. He knows his value lies in his actions and the way he handles himself. His transformation is not a show, but a natural result of focusing on what he can control: his growth, discipline, and character. This quiet confidence often inspires curiosity and admiration, drawing others in without any effort to persuade. So when the moment comes to reconnect, resist the urge to explain yourself. Instead, live your growth. Let her see it in your actions, your demeanor, and the energy you bring into the space. True growth isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about knowing that you've become better for yourself. And when she sees that, she'll understand without you having to say a word. Number 7, provide the calm she craves. When she's around you, how do you make her feel? This isn't about grand gestures or saying the perfect words. It's about the energy you bring into her world. Women are naturally drawn to men who make them feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. That sense of security is what sets you apart from the crowd. If she chooses to reconnect with you after some time apart, resist the urge to overwhelm her. Don't dive into explanations about the past or bombard her with expectations for the future. Instead, simply be present. Show her that you're steady and grounded, the kind of man she can lean on without hesitation. Picture this. She reaches out to you after weeks of no contact. She might sound hesitant, unsure if she's making the right move. Instead of interrogating her about why she disappeared or what she wants now, respond calmly. Maybe it's as simple as, "It's good to hear from you. How have you been?" Your tone, your demeanor, and your patience all send the message: I'm here, and I'm not shaken by the past. This doesn't mean you're suppressing your emotions. It means you're choosing to respond with grace rather than reacting impulsively. That's the difference a stoic mindset makes. A stoic man doesn't let life's ups and downs rattle him. He doesn't meet uncertainty with panic or pressure. Instead, he meets it with composure. You can show her this strength by being thoughtful in your actions. Listen to her without interrupting. Be curious about her without prying. Let her see that your steadiness isn't a mask. It's who you are. For her, this calmness feels like a breath of fresh air. When you remain steady, even when things aren't perfect, you provide her with the emotional security she craves. And here's the thing. When she feels secure with you, it's not something she'll want to walk away from easily. Think of a time when you felt completely at peace. Who were you with? What was it about that person that made you feel at ease? Now flip the script. You have the power to create that same sense of peace for her. It's not about being her savior. It's about being someone she can trust to hold steady when the world feels shaky. So, the next time she's with you, ask yourself, am I bringing peace into her life? Am I showing her that I can be her calm in the storm? The more you embody this, the more she'll associate you with the safety and security she desires. And that's not just attractive, it's irresistible. Now, I'd love to hear your take on this. How do you practice bringing calm into someone's life? Share your thoughts in the comments or simply type, "I am calm in the storm," to affirm your dedication to being a source of emotional security. Let's keep watching. Number 8. Let her choose you again. This might feel like the hardest thing to do, letting go of control. It's human nature to want to hold on tightly, to try and sway someone's feelings, or to seek reassurance that they'll return. But here's the truth. You can't force her to come back. No amount of persuasion, pressure, or overthinking can change her heart. The only thing you can truly do is focus on creating the conditions that allow her to want to return. This means respecting her autonomy. Giving her space isn't about playing games or making her miss you through absence alone. It's about showing that you value her independence and trust her to make her own decisions. When she feels that freedom, she'll view you as someone who respects her, not as someone who's trying to manipulate the situation. The Stoics taught us a powerful lesson. Focus only on what's within your control. You can't control her emotions or her choices, but you can control your actions, your growth, and how you handle this moment of uncertainty. Instead of anxiously waiting by the phone or overanalyzing her every move, shift your attention inward. Ask yourself, am I working on becoming the best version of myself? Am I practicing patience and emotional resilience? Am I creating a life that feels fulfilling, with or without her? By focusing on self-improvement, you're not just distracting yourself. You're sending a powerful message to her and to yourself. You're showing maturity, emotional strength, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. These are the qualities that make people reconsider their decisions. No one is drawn to desperation, but confidence, that's magnetic. This doesn't guarantee she'll return, and that's okay. The point isn't to manipulate her, it's to stand tall, knowing you're showing up as the best version of yourself. If she chooses to come back, it's because she's drawn to your strength, your maturity, and your unwavering sense of self. And if she doesn't, you've still grown into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Remember, Love that's chosen freely is far more powerful than love that's forced. Give her the space to choose you again, not because you pressured her, but because you've become someone she can't ignore. The choice to grow is always yours. Let her choice to return be hers. Number 9. Reignite the spark without force. Sometimes rekindling a connection isn't about grand gestures or dramatic displays of affection. It's about the subtle, meaningful moments that remind someone why they were drawn to you in the first place. Instead of sending flowers or writing a long emotional message, you casually bring up an inside joke that only the two of you share. A moment frozen in time that belongs uniquely to your story. Let's say you and your partner once got lost on a road trip, but ended up finding a quirky diner that served the best pie you've ever had. Months or even years later, you might casually say, "You know, I passed a diner the other day, and it totally reminded me of our accidental adventure and that amazing pie." No pressure, no expectations, just a warm, nostalgic thread that reconnects the two of you to a positive shared experience. The beauty of this approach is in its simplicity. You're not trying to force a connection or manipulate her emotions. Instead, you're showing mindfulness, an awareness of the good times you shared, and an openness to rekindling that energy. The Stoics remind us that our actions should always be grounded in intention and authenticity. When you remind her of a happy memory or shared experience, you're not doing it to control her response or force an outcome. You're doing it because it's genuine. It's a reflection of the connection that once existed. By bringing this energy into the conversation, you create an environment where she can reflect and perhaps feel that spark again. But the key is this: you must let go of the outcome. So, approach these moments with quiet confidence. Be present, intentional, and grounded. The goal isn't to reignite the spark through pressure. It's to offer her the space and freedom to remember what made that spark burn so brightly in the first place. When someone feels they're being pushed or pressured, it often creates resistance. But when you remind her of the connection you shared, without any strings attached, you allow her to experience those memories on her own terms. You create an atmosphere of safety and authenticity, which is far more likely to inspire genuine feelings of closeness. So the next time you want to reconnect, remember, it's not about the grand gestures. It's about the quiet, intentional moments that remind her why she cared and why she still might. Be thoughtful, be authentic, and let her come to the realization in her own time. That's where the real magic happens. Number 10. The ultimate power move. Let me share something with you. A truth that can change how you view relationships and life. The most attractive thing you can do after a setback, whether it's heartbreak, rejection, or simply someone pulling away, is to refocus entirely on yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that builds a future so vibrant, so fulfilling, that it stands strong no matter who enters or exits your life. Think of a man who, after a breakup, decided to immerse himself in his passions. He started learning to play the guitar, something he'd always dreamed of. He hit the gym consistently, not to impress anyone, but because he wanted to feel stronger and healthier. He poured his energy into a side hustle, eventually building it into a successful small business. Months later, when his ex saw him again, she couldn't help but notice his transformation. But by then, he wasn't waiting for her validation. He was too busy thriving in his newfound sense of purpose. This is what the Stoics teach us. Your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion of you. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your value isn't determined by whether someone chooses you or not. It's something you cultivate daily through your actions, your mindset, and your growth. When you embrace this mindset, it creates a shift, not just in how you see yourself, but in how others perceive you. There's something undeniably magnetic about someone who radiates self-respect and purpose. If she senses that your world no longer revolves around her, it can be deeply intriguing. Ironically, it's often when you've truly moved on that people begin to take notice of what they lost. But here's the catch. This isn't about making her regret her choices. It's about making you proud of the person you're becoming. Whether she comes back or not is no longer the focus. You're on a path of self-improvement, growth, and fulfillment. And that's the ultimate power move. So, ask yourself today, what's one step you can take toward building a life that excites you? Is it picking up that hobby you've been putting off, starting a fitness routine, or pursuing a career change you've been afraid to tackle? Take that step. Not for her, not for anyone else, for you. When you start living this way, something magical happens. You stop waiting for someone to come back because you've already found what you were looking for. A life you love and a version of yourself you're genuinely proud of. That's the kind of power no one can take away from you. So, there you have it. The blueprint for handling the moment she walks away and turning it into an opportunity for growth and transformation. This isn't just about strategies to make her come running back. It's about becoming the kind of man who thrives regardless of the circumstances. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we hold immense power over how we respond. By focusing on self-improvement, emotional resilience, and living with purpose, you naturally become magnetic. Not just to her, but to anyone who values strength and character. Take a moment to reflect. This journey isn't about quick fixes or manipulation. It's about respecting yourself enough to step back, reassess, and realign with your values. When you prioritize your peace, your growth, and your goals, you create a life so fulfilling that others are drawn to you, not because you need them, but because of the undeniable energy you exude. That's the essence of Stoicism, thriving in the face of challenges and building a life that's not just good, but unshakable. If this video struck a chord with you, take action now. Hit the like button to let me know this resonated. Share it with someone who might need to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more insights into relationships, personal growth, and the Stoic approach to living a powerful life. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. What step or perspective in this video stood out to you the most? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. And don't leave just yet. There's so much more to explore. Check out the recommended videos on your screen. Each one dives deeper into building emotional strength, navigating relationships with wisdom, and creating a life of purpose and fulfillment. Together, Let's make 2025 the year you reclaim your power, not by chasing anyone, but by becoming the person you're destined to be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.